Good evening, council members. Charlie Cradaville. I'm from New Brunswick. I'm the editor of New Brunswick Today.
You're recognized.
Thank you. I'll start by correcting the record. Last time this ordinance came up, I spoke and I mentioned how instrumental the 6-minute time limit and the rebuttal was to our work to get this council to become the first to oppose the construction of a gas power plant just across the border in Woodbridge. And I don't know that that would have happened without it. I erroneously said that it was in the year 2022, but it was actually 2021, so you were not yet on the council at that time. But I wanted to correct the record on that and reiterate that point, that a lot of good dialogue comes up at these meetings. People bring up public safety, political corruption, land use issues, traffic safety problems, and individualized resident concerns. And I think it was a great point that Mr. Stoschel made, that not everybody's a great public speaker, and sometimes it takes time to get your point across, especially when you're dealing with a situation that's individualized to you or to your property or to your business. And so for all those reasons, I think you should maintain the 6-minute time limit and maintain the rebuttal. I think it was shameful that you abused the police powers here to silence someone and put them in fear of being kicked out of the meeting. I'm also disgusted and embarrassed, and I'm not even an Edison resident. I live in New Brunswick, but I'm embarrassed for you, and I'm embarrassed for the township, because it's not just the time limit and the rebuttal. It's part of a pattern. It's a pattern of abuse of power, incompetence, contempt for the public, and a disdain for transparency. I know folks watching on Edison TV right now can't see me because the administration made a choice to stop showing the public each other, to make it so we're in the dark about what is actually going on at this microphone. And you need only to look at the last council meeting and how it devolved to see what the real source of the problem is. It's not us on this side. It's not at all. You couldn't control the meeting when an anti-cannabis mob showed up here. You couldn't control the meeting when Christo cursed out the deputy chief. You couldn't control the meeting when Chief Bryan lashed out at Councilman Brescher last meeting. And instead of doing your job, you used the police to do your dirty work, kicking people out of these public meetings. And that is unconscionable. You should be ashamed of those actions that you've taken in your position of power. And again, it's part of a pattern. You're trying to cut down on the public's time, you're trying to eliminate rebuttals, and that's not even getting started on this BS decorum ordinance. So I'm gonna ask you to please, right now, just table this. Will you make a motion to table this?
Do you have anything else to add?
I'll take that as a no. Can you tell us whose idea this was? Can you tell us whose idea this was, this ordinance? Council President, did you hear my question?
I heard your question.
Okay, and what's the answer?
This was what the council feels was necessary. This was a discussion we had, and this is what we came up with. And this was also transferred to a committee to be discussed, to compare us to other towns, to see where we stand. There are towns that do 3 minutes, and there are a lot less than us, but I thought that was too short. And this is the recommendations of the committee based on the discussions they had, as which I was not part of. And this is what they came back with to the council to approve.
Well, respectfully, I think everybody who watches these meetings knows that Edison is a special place. And you have a lot of residents that care, a lot of residents that come here, and they actually do make a difference by speaking at this microphone. We look at things like the public advocate ordinance, the Woodbridge gas plant resolution. These are things that come from the community, and you are stifling them by cutting back on people's time. So I think that Edison's a special place and you deserve a special ordinance. You should not be cutting back. If anything, like the gentleman said, you should be expanding public access to the meetings. There's no reason this is not a hybrid meeting. Why can't folks join on Zoom?
Speaker is 1 minute.
Why doesn't this ordinance include remote access? Why aren't you saying, we're going to have more people attend the meetings by opening it up on Zoom? Is that something that the committee considered?
I think that was transferred to the committee during discussion.
Council President, point of order.
Yeah, we're going off on
Back and
topic
forth.
here, yeah.
I'm asking why it's not included, sir.
But that's not part of the time in the ordinance.
Right, why isn't it? Why, if you're changing the rules for the meeting, why not allow Zoom access to the meetings like you did in the past? Wouldn't that be a common sense, good idea that folks have brought to you before? Why isn't that being included in
This
this?
ordinance.
This is only cutting back, this is not expanding.
I understand.
And why are you doing that? Why are you cutting back and not expanding?
I will make my comments at the end. Thank you, sir.
Well, again, I don't live in Edison, but I can tell that the residents here deserve so much better than what they're getting.
Thank you.